Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you wanna go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You wanna go where people know the people are all the same. You wanna go where everybody knows your name. Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries.
Hello, everybody. How you doing tonight? Yeah, tonight I just wanted to focus a little on spring positivity and trying to springboard people into, starting to do things, starting to get out there, maybe exercise a little bit, get ready to go for a walk or something in nature once it gets nicer. Good to see you, Ern. Good to see you, Mallory. Lethal is in for a few minutes before the show. Thanks, bud. He's headed down to the Steel Valley meetup. Anyone that's going, that's awesome. I wish I could be there. I just have too many responsibilities here. With that said, lately we've had some warm weather here off and on, and it's really kind of brought out that spring fever where you kind of want to do something. And quite often we'll sit back and we'll just let that feeling kind of fade away and try to keep ourselves calm, especially anyone who deals with mania issues. It can spring that forward, but at the same time, use that energy to go do something to motivate you to do something positive. It's not always an easy thought process. It's as with many things, if you've been kind of shut in, getting out there and getting ready to go out and do things like go for walks, maybe do a little exercise inside if you have access to a treadmill or have some weights or something, or even like the stretchy bands, whatever you have, yoga. Get ready. Start doing it now so that when it actually is nice enough to actually go for a walk, you can. And if you can, get out of the city, away from all the people. That way there you don't have to worry about the whole social distancing thing, whether or not it's implemented where you're at or if it gets implemented. Try to look for places to go. Get online, search it out. See if there's places you can go for walks. I know we have a bike path that's also a walking path right here in Springfield, Vermont, not far from me, that a lot of people use every year. It's something to get out and get away. There's a few Herrick's Coves down the road and a half mile down the road down here, and that's another location where people get out. There's some places you can walk through the woods for miles and miles. Do what you can, but you can also use that energy to start a new job or look for a new job, because in the springtime, jobs open up. There's possibility of a career change during now. By the way, congratulations, Ern, on your promotion. Hope you don't mind. I just wanted to congratulate you on that. Things change and they can be positive. And sometimes we just have to think about it and take our time to work our way through it. And that's all I wanted to do tonight is just that. And the thumbnail is on purpose because, it's almost time. You'll start seeing the trees are already starting to bud a little bit here and there, and some of the maples. I can already see the buds starting to form for the maple trees, for the leaves. And that's actually, this is early. This is real early to see any of that activity. It's not all of them. Most of them don't. It's only the ones that are kind of out on their own where they get the extra sun on these hot, warm days where we've hit 60 degrees a couple of times already, and we're talking February. We're not even into March yet. For me, that's actually a real positive thing. I'm hoping that we get an early spring. Though according to Groundhog, we're not. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if he's. It's not Poughkeepsie Phil anymore, is it? Or is it Poughkeepsie Phil like 12th generation now? I'm not sure how that works. But as we go through this, let's go through it together. Have a good time. Get out to see your family when you can. And if you can't see them physically, talk to them online or on the phone. Try to FaceTime as much as possible if the physical connection's not able to happen. Each day we lose more people, and we realize that that's actually something that we take for granted. I never expected to lose my son, so I did spend time with him, but took it for granted. And every day, you think about what you could have done. Well, instead of thinking what we could have done, take the time now to do what you can. To try and make those connections, spend that time. If you have a person in your family that's becoming elderly or is sick, get over there and see them or call them up. Talk to them as much as possible. Because tomorrow's never promised. Yeah, Mallory, I try my best. It's not easy to check on everyone because my list has gotten quite big about the people I care about. And it grows every day. And that's the truth of it. I try to check in on everybody as often as I can. And if anybody knows, check out the links and stuff. I've been quite busy all spring. And it's actually a good thing. Every day that I can bring any positivity to anyone's life or help in any way is a good day. My neighbor's going through some things with his wife not doing well with cancer, and I just did a little bit of that today too, a little actual talking on the phone, and then we visited for a little while outside. And this is stuff that you can do, and it's not common. And these connections for me aren't really all that new. It's just the way I do it now. Now, because a lot of the connections start online or are online connections, it is different. But like my friend I'm talking about is now a close neighbor, but he also at one time used to be my landlord. So a long time ago when I lived in town. So it's like you can make connections with some of the strangest people. Like literally I paid him money to live in his apartment for a long time, and yet we're still friends to this day. You can make connections with people in the most bizarre of ways, and they can last. It just depends on finding a nice person that you can really care about. And also, you have to open up part of your heart. It's not always easy. Sometimes you get hurt. But in the end, what are you out? You gave some of your heart in the end, and you did your best, and you know that. So don't focus on what they might have done or someone might have done to you in the past. Focus more on what you did and be proud of what you did. So, yeah, as you go through it, it's just springtime. It's time of life. You'll see baby animals around. You'll see baby birds occasionally. If you have a nest near you, you can see them. Or even if you can't see them, if they're up too high, you can hear them chirping. I know there was a robin's nest up one of the apartments last year. And I know that there's some birds nesting right next to where I parked the car right now. I just saw them this morning in there. And they're kind of doing their little dance thing. So I'm pretty sure they're going to have some chicks this spring. I'm going to walk to the car and I'm going to hear little chicks making chirping noises up there. And I'm looking forward to that because for me, that's the essence of spring. Listening to the birds chirp, seeing the grass, grass growing is not always a great thing. But, there's trees bud and flower, and it's an amazing time of year. And it does give you the energy because the sun, for one, for me, I'm seasonal. When I see the sun, it does give me the energy. In the wintertime, I struggle. If it wasn't for other things keeping me going because I have to do them, it would be easy for me to slip back and not do a lot. And lately, I've been a little frustrated because our internet's been kind of a little frustrating. If you guys haven't noticed, I missed a few shows because our internet has not been stable. Since we had that one snowstorm and some lines went down the road, they seem to have it fixed now, but even after that storm, they didn't have it quite right. Something wasn't right. They had a loose wire or something. So, speaking of, Mallory, while we got you here, are you feeling any better? I hope you are. So many people, send some happy thoughts and positive thoughts to those are going through things. Don't necessarily ask what's going on or how bad it is in all cases, because sometimes if it's like a thing they've really been struggling with for a while, that can actually cause them to focus on it too much, and it can actually bring them down, even though the intention is to bring them up. So just send them well wishes. Like, for instance, we have quite a few people have been sick this spring. We got sick last fall. You got people that are on hold, like Fresh 03 is, I don't know if he still is, I haven't heard back from him, but, send him some well wishes. His medical treatments that he was planning on getting to help him with his back issues were put on hold because of this whole pandemic again. And send some love over to overseas if you know anyone overseas too, because there is some talk of potential war and stuff over there, some invasion thing with Russia, and it's not really, doesn't direct affect the people in the U.S. as much. But you gotta remember that can be really stressful to someone, especially if they are prone to worry. This is, just be there. Just listen. Give them a chance to talk. Try to be an ear. And if they ask for advice or ask your opinion on something, feel free to give it. But sometimes it's just nice to be that grounding rod and give them a chance to have an outlet. And springtime is one of those times where not only can you share in being someone's outlet for what they're going through, but you can be the outlet, and they can be your outlet at the same time to work together. Maybe go for walks with a friend. Even if you're walking and your friends can't walk, you could still do FaceTime while you're walking just to kind of keep you company. I know it sounds like a strange thing, but if you have a way to do it, it's a way to kind of keep togetherness at the same time without having any worries of anything if you have that issue. So, yeah. Nice sunny day, but yeah, that's same here. Yesterday, Aaron, it was like almost 60 degrees. Beautiful out, but it was pretty wet. Today looks beautiful. You walk outside and it is, yeah, like you said, about 15 degrees outside. And the wind is blistering cold. So we're going through that. I hate to coin it with a phrase for mental illness, but it's kind of a bipolar weather where it's up and down. It goes back and forth, and it's common everywhere. If you live anywhere near where that jet stream comes through, you really get hit with it hard because it floats up and down. You'll get warm one minute and then cold the next, and sometimes you can go through like what feels like 4 seasons in a matter of a day. So try to hold on to the positives, like the sunny days. If you can do it, look at it, earn from inside and watch the sun outside, but stay warm. Sometimes that can give you the illusion it's nice outside, even when it's not really warm, until you go outside. So focus on what you're feeling inside. Yeah. No, yeah, she's right. If she FaceTimes me, the bunny loves it, but she also attacks her because she wants to get me on the screen. If you have any pets, spend time with them. You never know about that either. Shout out to Liam, Sherlock Holmes. He lost his dog a few weeks ago, and had to put lost the dog. Was going to put him down, but he passed away at home. The dog did, and then they just lost their cat. Had to put their cat down because of cancer. So, it's tough. even an animal's love, is temporary sometimes. Well, in most cases. There's very few animals that will outlive people. And enjoy those moments with them. So maybe enjoy, if you don't have a pet of your own. I mean, I know some people that don't want the responsibility of a pet, but they go over to their family or their friend's house and they do nothing but play with the pet. Yeah, you got the big wiener, see? Yeah. Yeah. I read that wrong too, just as bad as you wrote it on purpose. No, yeah, the dog. And that's, love that dog. Show it the affection. Spoil it. Just don't spoil it so bad that you pay for it later. I think we've done that with the cat a little bit. He's quite the character. We're coming into spring. I didn't want to do a long show tonight unless we really got into some deep discussions, but enjoy them. If you're starting the mix, enjoy a springtime mix. Lethal, I don't know if you're listening. I know that you might not be able to necessarily hop on again while the stream's going. But if you're watching this on replay or whatever, I did make the blackberry custard, you said, because I asked him just before the show what to make. And it's tasty. Yeah, I mean, it's got a steep, but it's tasty. And let's take that time, spend that energy, be kind. And right now is the perfect time to get that little bit of burst energy. If you're feeling like you got this ball of energy and you just don't know what to do with it, send out some messages. Send out some calls, phone calls, messages, FaceTimes. Talk to the people you haven't heard from in a while, or even the people you have heard from, but you haven't really spent any time with in a while. Do that. Make those connections. You'd be surprised what that'll do for you later on, when the weather is better and you're feeling even more of that energy. And for those that are either south of the equator and starting to go into their winter time, their fall time, and they're starting to feel the opposite effect, or the people that really love winter, like the Bing Crosbys of the world, then take this time to enjoy the last of what really makes you happy. Some people absolutely love winter but don't like summer. For those people, this is the opposite time. And if you know someone that's in that boat that feels that way and does that, and maybe gets depressed as it gets close to summer or a different seasonal change, it's a good time to try and connect with them before it hits hard, before they start to withdraw from everybody and pull themselves inside themselves. Yeah, I've noticed that, Mallory. I've watched your Twitter. It's been pretty active. My Twitter, again, I still got to fix my phone. My new iPhone created a new Twitter. It gives me all the feed of my old Twitter, but it posts to some random thing that I don't know what it is. So I got to figure out how to get the login to transfer over properly, even though I've signed in under the right one. I have no idea what it's doing. It's doing something weird. So if you haven't seen me on Twitter lately, there's a reason why, because it's messed up. But, and I really am going to, you'll see more postings coming soon once the weather gets just a little bit nicer so I can walk out through the woods and stuff. You'll see some more posts on my Instagram again for outside, because some people that can't get out in nature, maybe there's a reason why they're housebound, or they live in the city and they can't get out. Sometimes, watching videos of just being in nature can help. I know in the wintertime, sometimes I'll watch, and I have rewatched, because it's even on there, on the hard drive on that. I've rewatched it just to kind of get that feel that, okay, it's coming. It's going to be here again. Because it feels sometimes like, I don't know, just cold, damp, just cold. And I'm just ready for warm weather. But then the warm weather comes and then it gets 100 degrees outside. And then you're like, why did I wish for this? At least then I could have put clothes on in the wintertime and still moved around. In the summertime, you can only strip so much before the police are called. So let that be a lesson. Unless you live in a nudist area, you cannot go around naked. Although legally here in this state, I think you can, unless only certain towns you can. But I wouldn't recommend it. And stay hydrated. And if you do go on walks, bring water with you. I don't know how many times I've done that before. Went on a nature walk that I thought was only going to be out for a minute. Didn't bring a water with me. By the time I got home, I was just dying. And the dogs are snoring because it's quiet in here, other than me. But please, please just do something positive for yourself. Spring forward into action for yourself. That's what tonight's show is about. Just trying to bring forth some of that positivity and try to remind you that if you feel it, use it. And this time of year where it's kind of flipping back and forth, it helps if you can really hold on to those moments where it's feeling, you feel that extra energy. Hold on to those moments, make memories and do things for when you're not, when it's colder. Like tonight, it's going to be really cold here. But yesterday was such a nice day. I'm still holding on to yesterday for that reason. And yeah, we need everybody to stick together, be together, and just be positive. And for those of you that do watch Nick tonight, same thing. Say some positivity in the chat. Just be super positive. It sounds like I will admit, when you first start doing it, it feels weird if you haven't done it much. But the more you do it, the more it just feels right. And with this world being so upside down, for those of us that have done advocacy stuff, Mallory knows this, we see the upside down of the world. And as you see it and your eyes are open to it, the worse it is, because then you don't see it through the the rose-colored glasses anymore. You're seeing it straight on, and downright, there's a lot of things that are kind of scary that we never realized before. Media is not all up and up as it used to be, and it was never truly up and up, but it was better. It's gotten worse, and I had a long conversation yesterday with someone from the UK about what's going on over there, and what the... Okay, I should be back. It looks like for some reason Zoom timed out on me, even though I have unlimited Zoom. That makes no sense. Must have had something to do with that last update that everybody's been complaining about. I know that we had problems with it on the Tuesday night show too, where it screwed up at the beginning of the show. So, that being said, I probably should, just because of that. I want to double check and see what's going on with that. So now I got something else on my plate before the next show. Just please try to hold on to what you can. Be as positive as you can. Keep working forward. Do what you know you want to do, or at least work towards your goals. If your goal is a better job, a different place to live, something like that, it might be years down the road before you can do it, but start focusing on it. Because if you keep putting it off, it becomes one of those things you just always put off. And then you just procrastinate on. But if you're working toward your goal, you're more likely to actually enjoy your life sooner, rather than waiting until the point where it feels like you're just trapped. You don't want to feel trapped. And if you already feel trapped, work on what is going to help you not feel that way. This time of year is the time that can give you that burst to push for it. Upside down, inside. Yeah. Yeah, that's just... Factual is just... Even mainstream media, Valerie, will jump on something that's basically a trend on Twitter that doesn't have any truth or facts behind it, and you will see mainstream media pick it up because it looks like a good story. Whereas back, not only a few decades ago, they actually searched for facts. They had reporters that went out and actually found the facts and actually did some actual investigation. Now they just go with whatever grabs headlines, and many times is unfactual. I kind of blame it on one of the people that's in charge of the mainstream media, a lot of it, but Maybe that's a little unfair because it's not just their media that does it. It seems to be widespread. And we also see quiet, slight, subtle headlines for any retractions or anything that's going on. Or if they don't want you to really focus on something, you notice that that kind of gets, it's there if you look for it, but it's not in your face and it's downplayed. And whenever that happens, it's unfair to the populace. It really is. But it's what we have. And searching on, I know that you've done this. When you're searching for facts on the internet, that is really hard to sift through all the BS. It truly is. But if you feel that spur and information, spur of energy, and you want to use it in a way like that to promote your advocacy, push it further, or maybe even go down a different vein of advocacy. Because, you know, as things get kind of stale in a certain area, you got to wait for something to happen before we can. Unfortunately, we're not in a spot to be truly proactive right now with what our community. We're kind of in a spot where we can do the best we can, but we kind of wind up retroactive because there's really no way to push anything because of, well, the pandemic has actually created a big issue with getting out and actually doing anything. You can try, but it's difficult. Whereas maybe a little side venture, something else that something matters to someone you know, or something that it just feels unfair that you don't have the choice of, or they're trying to push away the choice of. There's all kinds of possibilities, all things open. But if you find out new information, post it. I know Mallory's been doing a lot of that. So follow her on Twitter if you want some information. She's been doing a good job of it. She tries to sift through most of it. You can see that, even by her comments. So, that said, we're going to cut this a little short tonight, make it just a smaller video, but this is just a motivational video. We will get into a few more important ones soon. But as the season changed, I felt that we just needed to remind ourselves that we're going to have this extra energy. Summer's coming. You'll get that energy before the hot comes. Once the hot comes, sometimes you lose it. You know, going outside and going for a walk when it's 100 degrees out doesn't always sound like a positive thing. So when it gets the right weather, you want to be ready for it. And you don't want to be so out of shape because you've been just, you know, kind of quarantining, sitting there and watching TV all day or whatever, instead of getting a little bit of exercise ahead of time. So do a little stretching. Start to get ready. Start to motivate yourself to get ready to go on walks or go out if you have that opportunity. Watch things that'll motivate you to do things. And you just will feel it more. It's just kind of like a conduit that'll help you succeed in whatever you try to do. I'm really proud of a lot of our community and the things they've accomplished. I'm super proud of the things that are still being accomplished now as well, even more so because it's harder. The ones that actually are able to accomplish something now, you're working through a muddled existence of what it was. And that's almost anything you're doing. If you're making progress, you're doing the right thing. Keep it up. Keep going with it. Yep, there. Yeah, exactly, Mallory. A lot of digging, a lot of reaching, a lot of investigation. That's what they used to do in the media. They don't anymore. It's like the weather forecast. Now it's all done by computers, and they don't even bother fact-checking the computer and making sure we're making any assumptions. So back 20 years ago, they were more accurate with the weather than they are now, because now they go off a computer simulation. It's like, oh, it looks like it might be this. Oh, sorry, we've screwed that one up. It changed. You got to literally check like every hour on your phone if you're really worried about the weather for the next day, because it will be down to the wire in most areas. And that's unfortunate, but it's what we have to deal with, so we've learned to live with it the best we can. Just don't take everything at word. Make your own assumptions. Make your own decisions. You are yourself. The person that's in charge of your life, so please remember that. Yeah, 1 to 2 inches turns into 3 feet. Sometimes they'll close school 3 days ahead of time for this big storm. and it's sunshine. That's happened. It's happened here a couple times where they literally closed school 3 days ahead of time because this huge storm's coming, and it was sunshine, like 40, 50 degrees outside. Yeah, Addie did. He motivated by egg rolls. It was literally one night on Wendy's show. He mentioned egg rolls, the flavoring, but it made us crave egg rolls so bad that before the end of the show was over, I was listening to the show in the car while driving to go get egg rolls. So yeah, you can motivate. Take the motivations and go with them. That was one of those nights where I'm happy you did, Addie. You motivate us to go get them. We wound up getting some wontons too, and those were delicious as well. Found some wontons that are actually in the frozen food section that were really good. And we wouldn't have ever found those wontons. We'd even probably looked at them if you hadn't mentioned that night. Yeah, 1/8 of an inch. But yeah, no, that blizzard of 2019 though shut down a lot of stuff for a long time, and people actually died from that. That's how crazy a little bit of weather can do. Sorry, I'm getting a little dry tonight. I was out walking around part of the day, so. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know if you checked it out, Addie, but I made a simple blackberry custard just now, just before the show for Lethal. And it has to steep, but I think it's going to be really good. Yeah, please be positive. Be more like Addie. If you can, anyone knows Addie, watches Addie, sees what Addie does, he is the embodiment of that positivity through the community. He's there. He's always positive. He's always there for our community. You know, he's there for his family. He's there to lose to his wife on golf on Tuesday nights most times. I hope you won this week, Addie. You deserve a win. But yeah, just literally, if you ever question where your morals are, just watch Addie. You can't go wrong. A great person and a pillar for our community. I actually kind of feel a little emotional on that one because I really believe that, Addie. I don't know what we'd do without you. So, yeah. You did, yeah, I was going to say, I thought you did a blackberry custard. Yep. And I got to get the rest of the flavorings for the milkshake base because the more I hear of it, the more I want it. The ones you made this week, yeah, I want it. So, yeah, and Grim Greens, why don't we just do hearts and prayer hands this week? Just for positivity, instead of doing like banana balls just for fun. Let's do hearts and prayer hands in Nick's chat tonight. Kind of get that going and trending a little bit because, you know, this is a good time of year to remind everybody, you know, be thankful that we're here again for another year. Oh, yeah, that's true too. Yeah, and of course, yeah, my neighbor is dealing with this stuff. He comes down, he gives me food. It's like, you don't need to do that. But I think it was just an excuse to come visit and talk. He needed to get away and talk. His wife goes down tomorrow to get her lungs checked, biopsied. So he's kind of nervous. So I'll probably be a little busy tomorrow, even though tomorrow's technically a day off. I know we record late tonight with Lando. We're doing the What in Horror podcast tonight. So, yeah, just be more like Addie. I can't say anything better. It's almost not winter. Definitely something. I agree with you, Ern. I'm just... this winter just felt like... well, being sick for the first part of it really hurt. We had 8 weeks. We couldn't do hardly anything right at the beginning. Right in the fall-winter transition period. And that just kind of set my winter tone. If it wasn't for staying busy on YouTube or in the Discord or anywhere, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have hit a bad depression this year because of it. Because it went right then I had my anniversary of my son's birthday. I was sick at the time of the anniversary of my son's death. So I was kind of in and out of it that day, so I felt it, and then I didn't feel it because I kept falling asleep. Because I mean, I know Mallory knows this very well. The exhaustion from the virus is just, it lingers for a long time. Swaggy was dealing with that too. The long-term effects of the exhaustion. And I mean, it was a blessing in a way at the time for parts of it, but then again, it takes away from every day. It feels like a chore to get up and move around. Oh yeah, great. Chili and black beans. Perfect night. Yep. So, Ern, keep up the good work. I'm really happy for you, by the way. Not, I know I said this once already, but I am very happy you got the promotion. You deserved it. You are working for it. Obviously, you're recognized for what you've been doing, and that's always a positive thing. It's like you can't have a bad day in this community if you really focus on the positivity in it. There is positives. You can have a bad day for yourself, but there's others here to pick you up. There's others here to talk to you if you're having a bad day. Remember that. Break the stigma with Unity Discord. I know everybody doesn't talk out loud a lot anymore. It's been more PMs when people are going through things. That's because a lot of the things people are going through that I'm seeing are very personal, and they're going through a lot. So please, Ern, you had posted before some stuff in the poetry section. If you feel the urge to do, or the energy to do that again, do it. That actually, I reread what you wrote the other day. You know, these things like this. Mallory posts some stuff in there every now and then, and I got the DIY section in there for now for people to post their recipes in. It doesn't have to be your greatest recipe, but it's an accomplishment you've done. And maybe we can get some more people to get on that train as things are getting harder and harder over here to get a hold of. You know. Yeah. You know, there's lots and lots and lots of things that we can be thankful for here. I'm thankful for KVTV and the Mixing Up crew for getting me started in the mixing thing. Addie was a big influence on that. Fresh was a big influence. Lumi, Larry, Wendy, Millen. I mean, it keeps expanding. The list is kind of endless at this point of the people that have helped me. And it means a lot to me that this actually happens. It's a community that we need to embrace and hold on to. Never let loose that love. And if you feel yourself needing a break, which happens, try not to take too much of a break to the point where you feel like you've separated, because you might need that later. Yep. See? Putting your all into it. And that's what matters. Put your all into anything you love or you care about. Everyone here that's in here tonight has got the love for others that they don't even know. Everyone in here is willing to fight or work towards helping others that they don't even know. That is something that you do not see widespread across the world. It's something that's unique to our community, at least to the level that it is. And I, for one, am very proud of the community for that. Every person that's been a part of it, even the ones that have walked away because of stress, you know, they were here. They did something. That's more than a lot of people can say. And it's something to be proud of. Yep, there you go, Folk Fest. Andrea, oh, yeah. And Michelle, oh, love Michelle. And do you have the link for Matt Sinister? Because I feel like tonight's episode, that would be a perfect pairing. If you guys don't follow Matt Sinister on Instagram, I think he has some uploads on YouTube now. He's still working on getting his health back. He's pushing through the pain in his lower back. and exercising. He's been doing it now for quite a while. And this is an inspirational thing that can actually help with this time of year to get you to get out and do something. Maybe you have a pain that's actually setting you back a little bit. Maybe that will be enough to motivate you to push through a little bit of the pain. Just don't push through to the point where you hurt yourself. Yeah, Matt is doing awesome. It's another person in the community I'm very proud of. Because before he was down and out for a long time after he got injured again. And it is, to bring yourself back like that, that's not an easy feat. It really isn't. And that's the type of thing that we see in this community. And I know he's motivated others to do the same. And it doesn't matter what you're doing. If all you can handle is yoga or a little stretching exercises, that's okay. Do it. You'll be surprised as you do more of it. The more capable you are, doing more. And the better you'll feel for it. That kind of thing helps your mind. You don't think about that. You think it's just your body. It's here too. It gets stuck in your head. If you get that exercise, you get that blood pumping a little bit, you get those muscles moving, your mind clears. The fog lifts. And it can help a great deal, especially through stressful times. But you do have to hold yourself back from the point of getting hurt. That's something I've struggled with my whole life. I do go too far. When I exercise, I go beast mode, and sometimes, occasionally, I get hurt. So, it's happened more than once. Hence, 2 knee surgeries, 2 shoulder surgeries, and I'm possibly in need of another knee surgery. So that says anything, yeah. So, there is that thing. There's a word for it, and this is the one I'm not good at. It's called self-control and moderation. That's what I'm not good at. Thank you, Addie. Yeah. Keep those discords going. Both of those discords help a great deal with a lot of people. Let's not forget that. And keep it going and keep that positivity moving. I love you guys. And you have a good night. I am going to get going because I'm going to get ready. And I'm going to watch Nick tonight because tonight I have Nick. I finished my movies already for the podcast. I don't have to do any last minute watching. So, yeah, I get to actually watch the whole show tonight. And I don't feel exhausted. So I should be able to stay awake for the whole thing. More than once I fall asleep with the bunny. That bunny is like, I don't need a sleeping pill. I have a bunny that likes to lay with me, and that's the end of it. So, you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Eddie, for the links. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything you do, all of you. And for those that reached out when I was sick, eternally grateful. Love you guys. Bye.
Making your way in the world today takes everything you've got. Taking a break from all your worries sure would help a lot. Wouldn't you like to get away? Sometimes you